How you doing? I'm gonna try and record this for some people that can't attend.
Great. Hey, Dwayne.
Hello. Is that Carolyn?
Yeah. Hi.
How you doing? I've got this recording in case some people can't attend, even though I might do a second session too.
Good idea. I'll go on mute now.
Okay. Now we've got a good amount of people that are supposed to attend, so I'll just kind of give everyone a minute to come on. Get about 12 people accept. I don't know, Ruth Ann, you might need to mute your mic. You might be unmuted. There you go. Okay. If you ask a question, just make sure you unmute. We'll give it to 2 more minutes. Right now it's 9:34 where I'm at. We'll wait till 9:36 because we are supposed to have 12 people attend or that accepted. I guess while I'm at it, you go ahead and get a list of who all's attending. So are there any other admins on the call that might not be on the WebEx? Well, we're 6 minutes in. Let's go ahead and get started. So I've turned on recording. So if anyone is missing this, I'll send out a link so that they can come and watch this. Before I get started, last week I sent out an update to this meeting request that had links to the video tutorials that we have created for this. Is there anyone on this call that was not able to watch at least the first 2 videos in that series? Okay, so I'm assuming everyone was able to watch that. So when it comes to Cisco Spark, we're going to be launching this next Tuesday, and we don't know if all departments are going to greatly benefit from the way Cisco Spark works, or if some, just might not have a need for it. It's really going to depend on how departments work with each other, how they collaborate, and if they really have a need for what's starting to be called team messaging or workstream messaging. So if you watch the videos, the gist of Spark is you've got everyone connected in a space, which is how Cisco calls it, and within those spaces, whether they're a one-on-one space with another person or a group space with multiple people, you can have persistent chat, so you can all talk with each other, with chatting, which we're all used to with Skype for Business or Link. All those chats stay in that space, whether the space is for a task, a project everyone's working on, or it's just, let's say, a team space, just for a whole team to be in there and just kind of say whatever they want at any time, just so you're all kind of in the loop. So IT has definitely adopted it to keep in touch with each other on our projects, and also just as a team to kind of stay more connected and together. The digital team under Virginia, they were the biggest adopters because they were originally using another application called Slack, which is kind of the original creator of workstream messaging. But slowly we're getting other people involved, like the field IT team, which aren't at a corporate office. They're kind of disconnected when it comes to being at one location together or being able to kind of see each other face to face every day. So even though they are disconnected by geographical boundaries or not seeing each other every day, Spark lets everyone get into that space, text with each other. If you want to schedule meetings, you can do it within that space, and everyone can hop on the Spark app and all talk to each other within that space. And they would be using the Spark video feature. So when you think of Spark, think of messaging, meeting, calling, and video, kind of those 4 key aspects. And then within the messaging aspect, you can share your files, and everyone can grab those files. They can see the latest updated files. It's really good for project-related tasks. So I'll stop there real quick. Any questions on that piece of kind of how Spark is supposed to work, or why we're looking to roll it out at Hilton? No questions? Good. That is it's always good. So if you've watched the videos, you'll see kind of the layout, what I'm sharing right now with Spark. Right here, you have your one-on-one messages with people. So I've got a lot of one-on-ones going with everybody. If I scroll down, I can see the long list of people I'm communicating with. So these are not all Hilton-only people. Joseph Fu works for Cisco, and you'll see it pops up right here to let me know that I'm working or talking to a third-party vendor, because it shows the @cisco.com. There's a lot of other people that can go sign up for Cisco Spark and be in these rooms. So when I explain it to other departments at Hilton, what Cisco Spark is or how people can get involved with it, we've gone out and we have licenses for Spark. It's actually integrated into our WebEx contract. So if you need to communicate with a third party, like let's say right here, I've got NTT Data, our Dell partners who manage our IT environment for us, they can go out and sign up for a Spark account. It's just like if you went out and signed up for a free Google Gmail email address or a Yahoo email account or Hotmail. You don't have to pay for those accounts. You get a free email address. You can email everybody. They can email you. It's free. So with Spark, if you have a vendor and you feel that Spark is going to help you work better in your day-to-day back and forth with a vendor and also with your departments, then I would recommend getting with that vendor and saying, hey, Hilton is now using Spark to do workstream messaging and team collaboration. Is it okay that you go sign up for a Spark account? That way you can communicate with our teams, and hopefully we can do a lot more work on our tasks a lot quicker because we're better connected. The thing with email is if you send out an email, maybe that first email, you don't add everybody on that email thread. So some people are left out of the conversation where they might need to be involved in the conversation if it's for a project. And then sometimes emails fork off into multiple threads because someone takes that and forwards it to someone else, and then that other person that it got forwarded to now adds in a couple more people. So sometimes with email, you can have 3 or 4 threads, and not everybody's in the loop because not everybody is on every email. So one of the things with Spark messaging or workstream messaging is when you start a project, add everybody into that space that should be in the project, whether it's your department or it's multi-departmental. You know, if you're working between departments on a project, like what we do with IT, you know, I might work with Nick Penny's team, who's a peer of mine who is in charge of networking and the internet circuits. But my team also needs to work with workplace services. So Peter in the UK or Wendy Nightingale, they might also need to be involved if we're doing something at Maple Court. So I add in my team, I add in Nick Penny's team, I add in workplace services. I might add in, Carolyn Clark, because she is kind of our connector or our communication connector to all of Maple Court. That way, Carolyn knows what's going on, and if we're forgetting somebody, then Carolyn can kind of funnel that information to the other teams. That way, we're not leaving anybody out. So it's bringing everybody into a space and working in that one space, so you have everything there. Persistent chat, the files that we might share, if we need to have a quick video call. Let's say we're all chatting in Spark, sending messages back and forth. And even though we're typing, somebody's just not getting the subject that I'm trying to explain. Sometimes, texting just isn't enough. So if I'm typing and someone's not getting it, it's like, hey, let's have a call real quick. Within that Spark space, I just go up and click the call button, and now whoever's in that space is going to get notified that a call has started. So especially the person that I was typing to who just wasn't understanding what I was typing, that person hops on, and if anyone else wants to hop on and listen or to communicate with us, they can hop on real quick too. That way, instead of like a bunch of back and forth emails where it just takes forever, we get it done hopefully in a lot less time, and we're able to move on to our next task or start getting something else done. Hopefully it makes people more efficient. So I'll stop there, and once again, this meeting is, for anyone to kind of ask questions. If it doesn't make sense, or if you have thoughts about how your department might be able to utilize this better, hopefully I can help explain it to you or work with your team to make sure you set it up correctly and you utilize it so that it helps you out and makes you more productive. So I want to stop right there and see what questions anyone has. Otherwise, we might be good if you kind of understand and you've watched the videos. All good? All right. Well, I know we're only 15 minutes into this, so we're going to launch this next Tuesday. It's going to be deployed to corporate team members. So people in our corporate offices will get this. Field IT will also get this. We're not launching this to the hotels yet, though there are some discussions with digital HR on how this might be integrated with the hotels. Once we launch it next Tuesday, everyone's going to have the basic features and functionality of doing video calls with each other inside of a Spark space. But next year, Q1 of 2018, what we're going to do is Spark will be integrated with our corporate phone system. So around January, we will start integrating it. So what you're going to see is if somebody calls your desk phone and you have the application installed on your cell phone, that way you can receive your messages when you're away from your desk, your cell phone will ring when someone calls your desk number. At the same time, if you're away from your desk and you want to call somebody, you can open the Spark app and you can call anyone else at Hilton from the Spark app. Or if you go to, let's say, your iPhone contacts, Spark has native integration with the iPhone, iOS, and also with Android. So when you go to your contacts, and you can type on or you can click on somebody, and you can call that person from Spark. So if you had a contact from, I'm trying to think of someone who might be outside of Hilton, let's say a franchise, you've got them set up as a contact within your iPhone, you can click on that contact, you can call them from the Spark app, and that way when you call them from your Spark app on your iPhone, it shows up as your desk phone number and not as your mobile number. So that way it looks like you're calling from your desk, and they won't see your cell phone. You might not want people to see your mobile number, so it looks like you're always at your desk or you're always picking up your phone no matter where you are in the world. Also, this year we got budget to deploy more video units at our corporate locations. So last year around June, we deployed our new video solution in Maple Court, Memphis, McLean, Dallas. We have one in Singapore, and we're about to deploy one in Shanghai very soon. And we have one in Tokyo, in Glasgow. We're going to deploy more units that are actually integrated with Spark. So eventually, the current video units we have today that you use, we will move those over to the Spark Cloud so that the video units in our meeting rooms will be integrated with Spark. So what that means is if you walk into a room that is configured with Spark and there is a meeting that day, there's not a meeting on this one right here, but the Spark app on your mobile phone and on your laptop, whether it's a Mac or PC, the app will communicate with the video unit in the room over ultrasound. So if you have a scheduled meeting, you can go and click that meeting, and the board, since if you've already connected to the video unit in the room, the board will see that you have a meeting, and hopefully all you have to do is click a join button, and it'll start calling into that Spark space, and then everyone else will join into the Spark space, whether they're from their laptop, whether they're from their iPhone. They can join any way they want. So hopefully when we do move our existing video units to the Spark Cloud, it'll make dialing into video meetings a lot easier. Today you walk into the video meeting room and you might dial dlarson@hww.webex.com. With the Spark app, you walk in, you open up your laptop or you have your cell phone, and you go to the scheduled meeting and you just have it call into that space. So it makes it a lot easier. The only other thing is some of the video units that we're going to deploy, some of them are going to be Spark boards. So it's a 55-inch Spark unit. It's like an all-in-one unit. It almost looks like a huge 55-inch iPad. That will allow you to do whiteboarding. So if you have people in a room together or a space, and you need to whiteboard together, which a lot of people usually need to whiteboard, you can actually be in that meeting. If I'm from my laptop, I can click the whiteboard feature on here, and I can draw on my laptop. But the people that are joining from a meeting room that has a Spark board, they can walk up to that Spark board, and they can draw on the Spark board, and anyone that's remote will see the drawing in real time, and they can also collaborate together and kind of edit the drawing. So it's almost like you might have people in a room in Maple Court that has a Spark board, a room in McLean that has a Spark board, even though they're geographically in two separate different locations and two separate different rooms. If they've got Spark boards, they can sit there and whiteboard together and draw it out. So it's pretty cool, especially when you see it in action. So that'll be coming this year. We don't want to change the current video units that we have today and move them to the Spark Cloud, because we deployed those last year, and we don't want to, a year later say, okay, we're changing everything. So we'll have a set of 2 video units, some that'll be Spark video units registered to the cloud, and some of it that are the existing units that we deployed last year. That way we give people time to play with the new units and get used to it, and ask any questions that they need to better understand the new units. If you are used to the current units and walk into a room with one of the newer rooms with a Spark unit, you really will not be too confused on how to dial into a video call, because if you walk up to that Spark board or a Spark room kit, you can still dial, the dlarson@hww.webex.com and get into a video call. And, if you need to enter your host PIN because you're the host, you can do that. So there shouldn't be too much confusion on how to dial in to a video WebEx from the newer units. It's really not that different, so there shouldn't be that much confusion. So other than that update, I will once again ask if there's any more questions. Otherwise I'll give you back probably 30 minutes from this meeting.
Hi, Dwayne. Can I just ask if you have to have WebEx to be able to download the Spark app?
No. So who's that question from?
Diane.
Hey, Diane. No, that's actually a good question. So, no. Today, if you want to have meetings, you have to go get a WebEx account. And that WebEx account can have, I think, 300 people dial into it. And with WebEx, you can share your desktop, all that good stuff. With Spark, since it's built into our current contract with West, where we get our WebEx and where we get our intercall audio bridge, everyone at a corporate office is going to get a licensed version of Spark. What that means is you can have video calls with up to 25 people in a meeting, and this is also going to integrate with Outlook. So when you're out of the office, right now I've got it set to Do Not Disturb, so that's why you see that. But if you are set up in Outlook with your out-of-office notification, that's going to show up with a little airplane silhouette. So all the licensed users will get those features and functionalities. And I can share my desktop from here, so anyone in that meeting can see my desktop. So essentially, there are some departments maybe today that are paying for and using WebEx. If Spark meets your needs, for maybe having a meeting with 25 people and being able to share your desktop, so you can share your Word docs or a web page or whatever you usually do with WebEx today, if everybody is okay with using the Spark app, you might not need WebEx anymore. But what we're going to do next week is, with the launch on the 25th, we're going to go ahead and create accounts for everybody at a corporate office. Everyone that has a telephone in one of our corporate offices, we're going to automatically create an account for you, and then you'll be able to log in with your Hilton email address and with your Hilton password. So it's all going to be built in for you. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. So long as, because we don't all have a WebEx in this department. So that was the question, because I know it may be useful for some of the lawyers here. I was just thinking that they don't all have WebEx, you see.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that is, it's going to be unique to see which departments really adopt Spark. Because once again, when I started, not all people or departments are going to see this as a tool that they can use to be productive, because maybe the way they work, they just don't need it. But
I'm trying to work out whether whether there is a way they would use it. That's all.
Yeah, so definitely
adopt new
for
technology
people,
very well.
yeah, I can see that. So yeah, people today that don't have WebEx accounts, yet if they've wanted it in the past to do basic meetings with each other, like basic meetings with only Hilton internal people, and to share their desktop, this might be the perfect app for them. That way they don't have to go pay, whatever the cost is for WebEx that month. Whether we fluctuate a little with WebEx costs. If there's more people using WebEx, then the cost goes down. So I think it might be around $8 a month right now. So I think Spark, one of the big benefits for certain departments might be the replacement of WebEx. And when I say replacement of WebEx, it's not like we're moving away from WebEx. It's the way Cisco is working today. Spark and WebEx are kind of merging together, and I'm a part of the ambassador program for Spark with Cisco. With the stuff I've been hearing, I would not be surprised in the next 2 to 3 years, maybe WebEx kind of goes away, and then it's all just built into Spark, just one big tool for everything.
Hi, Dwayne, it's Dot here. So basically, taking from that, where we have the WebEx accounts and where we had to request for a WebEx account, you're saying going forward, that's going to be replaced with this new system?
No, you can still use WebEx.
Right.
WebEx is more for bigger meetings, and it's definitely for external meetings for people that don't, like with Spark, today everyone needs to have a Spark account to meet. They are going to work on something with Spark to where you have guest accounts, so that if you send out a meeting invite with Spark and somebody from Coca-Cola gets that meeting invite, they can just click and join as a guest. They don't have to go sign up for Spark. That's not there today. But, with WebEx, if you send out an invite to Coca-Cola or FedEx, they click the WebEx link, and they don't need to go create an account. It just logs them in, and they type in their display name and all that good stuff. So today there's still a need for WebEx, but eventually, maybe in 2 or 3 years, they might merge. So you still want your WebEx account, but Spark it's more for internal communications and collaborations with people that you work with a lot on projects.
So basically, to keep it simple, it will be for, like we do update calls. That could be used via the Spark app now. And if you have teams wanting to have a WebEx account and they're just doing these basic calls, basically they'll be able to use that system, the new system now.
Yeah, and right now Spark it can do 25 people in a meeting. Yeah. So if you click the call button, you can do 25. It's going to grow. They're already saying, I would think in the next 2 or 3 months, they'll up it to 50. And then they'll grow it to they're trying to get it to where Spark has the same amount of capacity for WebEx meetings. I think today WebEx, I always forget it. I'm thinking it's either 100 people can join WebEx or 300, like audio callers. So they're slowly ramping it up and building the infrastructure. So, yeah.
So like people in our corporate offices in Dubai and Singapore, they'll be able to participate on this app? Would we use them have to, request them in like a Hilton address or
yes.
as a third party?
So we'll have to see who you're communicating with, because our first initial launch is all the corporate users, because it's real easy for me to find the corporate users who are on our telephone platform, because I have all those email addresses. I reached out to Field IT and Christina Cornwall, who's in the UK for Field IT. I got her team all connected. So I can reach out to James Wright is aware of this for Field IT, but we can also get the list of everybody in Dubai and add them in. the people in the Singapore office, they're going to get added next Tuesday because they're on our corporate phone system.
Right.
So yeah, they can all participate using this app, especially for video calls. So as an example, let's say we've got this space right here, Dot, and the people in here happen to be, you, Stuart, people in Dubai, people in Singapore. If you schedule a meeting, when the time comes for that meeting, if you walk downstairs to one of the video rooms, there's the video address that you would dial on one of those rooms downstairs on the UG floor. So you would dial that, and then the people in Dubai, they're going to just click the link, or they're actually going to go into the Spark app itself and just click the call button. So they might be at their desk, and they might be sharing their webcam on their laptop. So you're all going to be connected. You're going to be in the room. You are able to dial in using this. They're able to dial in using their laptop. Or if we get them a Spark video unit, Dubai might be a special case because we know there's some laws there. But yeah, they should be able to dial in unless, the internet in Dubai is somehow blocking this from getting out.
Okay. So even, if you've got people like in the field who are under a corporate head office but, don't necessarily come in, they can use the app to dial in from their laptop then as well?
Yep, from their laptop or from their cell phone. I had a call with one of the security guys, and he called me from the Memphis airport on his cell phone. I think he was using just cellular coverage. I don't think he was on the wireless at the airport. And his video was just crystal clear. So it was perfect. I could see him. He could hear and see me. I mean, with the iPhone, it really works well. And it keeps getting better because they have an agile model with Spark. So every week, if there's an issue or if there's a feature, they're rolling it out, and the app kind of auto updates. So we're not, as Hilton, we're not having to push out updates to stay up to date. Like, okay, this month we need to push out a new version of Spark. It just updates automatically on its own. So it's a lot easier to manage. So yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So the tip then, because obviously we plan in these meetings in the diary, you're sending out an invite to, participants. What would we put in that invite, Outlook invite, to say this is going to be a Sparks call?
People are going to have to get used to it, and when we launch the videos, I am probably going to do some more training like I did last year, where I came on site and maybe do some demos. So actually show them what they're using. So when we actually move all the video units to Spark, I think it'll make it a lot easier because we'll tell people to stay inside of the Spark app. That way they start to know, okay, it's going to be a video call or it's going to be a meeting. Let me go to the Spark app. Today it's going to be kind of a shift for them to know to go to the Spark app. So this is definitely something new. It's a new type of technology. It's a new way of working. Initially, I expect kind of the user adoption to be a little low, but as it starts to spread, like I said, with the digital team under Virginia, they've adopted it, in droves. All I think 200 of her team are now on board Spark, and they are kind of our champions right now. They want the Spark boards in Glasgow because they have a team in Glasgow so that they can really connect. It's going to be people learning slowly how to use it because we don't want to pull away the old way of doing things because, Dot, I know I don't want to make anybody anxious when they walk into a room like, how do I do this, or how do I schedule a meeting? I don't want there to be too many ways to schedule a meeting, but at the same time, slowly get people used to it and, get them to adopt it.
Okay. So there's no particular format then, because like now I'm putting into Stuart's calls all the WebEx information, like you did today, into this invite. So there's not a format then that we should be adopting for the Sparks to put that into the invite.
Right. I would it's something more official with Stuart and you want it to go off without a hitch, use
Yeah.
WebEx today.
Okay.
And if it's less official, start to use Spark. Start to
Okay.
get used to it. You gotta.
Okay.
I mean, when my team started messing with it, we started using it to figure out, okay, what are the little quirks, or how do I know when to use it? So initially, it's unofficial. I don't want to tell people how to use Spark. They need to use it what works best for them. But my recommendation is, once you get more comfortable with Spark, if it's only a Hilton internal meeting with Hilton-only people, maybe start to use Spark, and if it's under 25 people. That way, it's a lot easier for everyone. And like right here, this bi-weekly NTT meeting, we're having this today. I wasn't able to attend because I'm on this call with y'all, but we have a bi-weekly meeting. We can set up a recurring meeting, and that way, every week or every once a month, we know that the meeting's here, and we join from this space. And you can obviously walk down to one of the video rooms and dial in. And it's Hilton only, if it makes it easier for everybody. The other thing is, if it's a bi-weekly meeting, you can post your agenda for that call in this meeting. That way, when people come to the meeting, they see the agenda posted. They're kind of better prepared. And kind of the hype or the marketing around it is, when you go to a meeting, sometimes the first 5 or 10 minutes are people trying to catch up, or, okay, I scheduled this meeting 2 weeks ago, and I've already forgotten. What is this meeting for again? With Spark, everything's posted in there. You can post the agenda in bullet format if you want, to say, okay, here are the 5 items for this meeting that we need to hash out when we get on the call. So when people get in there, maybe you're saving yourself 10 or 15 minutes. I don't want to say 15 minutes, but maybe you're saving yourself 15 minutes of all the pleasantries of saying hello, and you just get down to business. And maybe it makes today meetings that are 30 minutes, maybe it makes it 10 minutes. Totally, tons of ways to use it.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So I would say if you're having small meetings and it's Hilton internal only with people that know Spark, start to use Spark. The other thing is, in 2018, we're going to be rolling out some devices, what are called Spark Media Nodes, where if you're having a Spark meeting, these nodes, like I'll place a node in Maple Court, in McLean, in Memphis. Today, when you have a video call, all of those, like let's say you're having a meeting with someone in McLean, Maple Court, and Memphis, and Dallas. That's 4 people or 4 locations. When those video units call, let's say they call your WebEx, .jackies at hww.webex.com. All 4 of those calls are going out to the internet, and they're taking up about 3 meg of bandwidth. So in the U.S., those 3 units are all adding up to 9 meg, and they're also going out to the internet, which is kind of the Wild West. If the internet's having a bad day, then your video might be a little choppy. So these Spark nodes that we're going to deploy inside our Hilton network, the Spark app is smart enough to know that if you're dialing a Spark video call, instead of it going out to the internet, it's just going to go to the Spark node. So you would go to the node in Maple Court because it's the one closest to you. And then the nodes in Memphis and McLean and Dallas, those video units, they might all hit one in Memphis, or they might hit their own nodes. But it keeps all the video internal to Hilton so that it's not at the mercy of the internet and having choppy video. So, sometimes video gets a little pixelated and digitized, and it gets rid of that, and it keeps it all internal. And then if you have one person joining from the internet, like let's say there's Carolyn Van Diesen, who might be remote, then the Spark nodes only have one connection out to the internet for that one call. So in the past, where you might have had 3 calls going out to the internet and using up 9 meg of bandwidth, Spark is smart enough to know, okay, there's only one person that's remote, so I only need one digital stream out to the internet. I don't need 3 or 4. So it's going to be a lot better from a bandwidth perspective at Hilton. I think it's going to make our video calls a lot healthier. I guess healthy might be a bad way to name it, but it keeps it from going out to the internet. It keeps it all local. It keeps it more clean. The video is going to be a lot better, I think. And, every time I get on a video call, it's like, okay, is today going to be a bad day with the internet? Is the video call going to drop? It takes a little of that anxiety away, knowing that we have these internal Spark nodes that we have control of. And I have less anxiety of a call having a bad day.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks.
So, yeah, we're slowly working with the new technology to make things better for Hilton. So hopefully everyone will see the benefits in the coming year. That's my marketing spiel. All right.
Thanks, Dwayne. That's
Any
really
other
good.
questions?
Thank you.
Wayne.
Thank you. No, that's really good.
Thank you. All right. Well, I will let y'all go if there's no more questions. I appreciate the call. And I might be in town the week of October 25th for a meeting. If I'm in town, I might try to set something up to do maybe a little more, something from a demo. And if you have questions or want to walk in and have me show you something, we'll see. So I'll let you know. We haven't booked the flights yet, but if I do come, I'll reach out and let you know.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
that'd be great,
That'd be good, yeah,
Dwayne. And if you
definitely.
can let Diane's got a new intern working for her, Lauren Page, if I've got that right, girls, I think. It might be good because obviously with the launch of Sparks as well, if we've got any questions or we get asked any, it might be a good opportunity to feed them back to you as well.
Definitely. And once you get your accounts created, I can go and look and see who all was on this invite. I can create the accounts, and what we're doing is kind of creating a space where you can come and ask your questions. So I can get you in that space, and you can start asking the questions. But yeah, definitely, if you have questions or if Diane's got a new contractor, intern starting, yeah, I can get with them. So think about how Spark works. Any other questions you have, reach out to me because we are working with kind of different departments to see how it would work best for them, especially if there's a good use case. So I'm working with the desk side support team. I think this has a huge benefit, for local IT, where you can maybe have a space for desk side support, like David Samuel or them. You can reach out to them and get a quick message back and forth. Maybe it works out better for them to have a Spark space. So we're talking with the desk side support teams. We're looking to see if we can integrate this into ServiceNow, which will be our new ticketing system. There's possibilities of bots. So when I say bots, there could be a bot in Spark that you talk to, and with natural language processing, if you tell it you have an issue, it could potentially go create a ticket, a trouble ticket for you, and you don't have to waste your time with talking to Accenture or a help desk or a person who might be busy. It could make things a lot easier. So it's a lot of stuff we're working on.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Thanks,
Y'all have a
Wayne.
good afternoon. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.